Welcome back, everybody. Our first guest tonight is a Grammy-nominated stand-up comedian, actor, and New York Times best-selling author. His latest comedy special, The Skinny, is streaming now on Hulu. Please welcome back to the show our very good friend Jim Gaffigan, everybody.
I'm very thin now.
You are.
I'm very thin.
You like to lead with that.
And I did it all myself.
Okay.
I had no help. It was just me and a syringe sticking in my stomach. Yeah, you know what? I'm on an appetite suppressant. I don't know why there's any shame associated with it.
Yeah.
It just means I can't control myself.
But you mentioned in the special, not to give anything away, that like people do when they take in your thinness.
Yes.
They're a little insulting in the way
Yes.
they approach you about it.
Yeah, they feel like it's cheating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, really? Is taking heart medication cheating too?
Yeah. And also,
by the way, I work for Mangiaro now. No, I don't.
You chose Mangiaro. You like the sound of Mangiaro better.
It sounds like an Italian restaurant. Welcome to Mangiaro. When you're here, you're not eating anything because you're a fat ass. Yeah.
Now, Jim,
I can do that accent because I'm Sicilian.
Which part of the North Sicily?
There's a northern part.
You have Thanksgiving coming up, though. This is like famously a big eating holiday. Do you have any trepidation or?
No, now that I'm on the app, I eat like a normal human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, most of my life, I would eat like most people would eat on Thanksgiving.
Right.
So now
like every day was Thanksgiving.
Now I'm just like a normal glutton. Whereas before people would be like, is he okay? So.
You're traveling, wife and kids.
Yes.
5 kids.
5 kids.
I'm always impressed by that. And you're world travelers.
We try to travel. I mean, because I'm always doing stand-up, we don't typically have the Thanksgiving at home with grandma. We'll do that at Christmas, but my kids, they've done a lot of Thanksgivings in Vegas, which is where the original Thanksgiving was. You know what I mean?
They met the Native Americans in Vegas.
And then there was the Showgirls, and it was a beautiful thing.
It was beautiful.
Right?
They rarely put the Showgirls in like the kids' books, but they were a huge part of it.
The hot dish that the Showgirls brought was very nice.
I think they were like, you're gonna love her. She's a real hot dish.
Yeah, hey, we did it.
Congratulations on, although it's a little bit like you were on a sitcom that didn't get picked up for a second season.
Yeah, it was.
But you played Tim Walz.
Yes.
I didn't mean to bug everybody out, but it was fantastic. And it was, not only you had this great experience with SNL, which is you were on it every week for a run, top a show.
Yes.
So you got to get it out of the way, then just enjoy it.
Yes.
What was it like, though, being introduced to it at the very beginning, that first table read?
It was, I did 5. I was contracted for 5, and I only did 1 table read.
Because the script wasn't done on Wednesdays.
The script wasn't done.
Yeah.
And there, we shoot it, obviously, on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I remember on Friday, at 7 p.m., calling, like, hey, is there a script, or should we be concerned? Did you guys forget about it? I never really, and I love to improvise, but I'm not a huge fan of the cold read.
Yeah.
Maybe because I don't know how to read.
Yeah.
But no,
there's not a lot of time, especially with the political stuff, to like rehearse.
No.
To like get familiarity with the script. You really, sometimes they just say, just read what Wally holds up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't know where Wally is.
Wally's right there, yeah.
As Wally said to me earlier, he's like, because do I have the biggest type?
Yeah, you can't.
Like Wally, I have him do YMCA because I'm so blind. Wally's like,
really? Yeah.
Hello.
And that's great because when people need the big font, I love watching Wally because it's so many more cards.
Yeah,
and he's got to move so fast, yeah. And like you're talking super slow, and he's just like.
Yeah. It's an incredible skill.
Did you feel like by the 5th one, Because I've always said I never got over butterflies doing Weekend Update, and I did it for a long time. But that first joke, especially, my heart was just racing in a way it has not raced since.
Yeah, I mean, I've performed stand-up for 35 years, and I've been in a lot of awkward situations, but there is nothing that really prepares you for that live television, and you walk out and you shake Lorne Michaels' hands. It's like meeting Thomas Jefferson, and then you're supposed to do a sketch.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. And then in these scenes, I was looking at Dana Carvey or Maya Rudolph. It was just bizarre.
Yeah.
So
it's a real trip. Also, one of the things that always threw me for like the first 3 years, every time Lorne shook my hand, he was introducing himself because he forgot he knew me. I was like, I work here. He's like, oh, well, best of luck. The other thing that is crazy, because you've played giant rooms. You've certainly played far bigger rooms than that studio. But the other thing that's in your head is, as you are saying it, so many more people are seeing it immediately.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people, obviously we know it's a very popular show. A lot of people watch it. We know that there's clips of it, and if it's a political thing, it'll be on the Sunday political shows. But I didn't realize that it is, within a 24-hour period, everyone on the planet has seen the cold open.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a real topical
election
one.
season, certainly.
Yeah, it's just like people knew that I was Tim Walz. Like it was insane because it was like I didn't realize everyone watched it, but some of it is because it's on YouTube and stuff like that.
It's also funny how you. I feel like when you do stand-up, you know along with the audience how it went. Whereas because more people are obviously seeing it than aren't in the studio, you find out on social media, you might be like, that was good, and then you're like, oh no, it was bad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it also depends which platform you look at.
Yeah,
like
that's
if
true.
you look at one platform, they're like, this is the worst thing that's happened to humanity. And then if you look at another one, they're like, that's perfect.
There might be a little bit of difference in
look
users. The casting of this was very interesting. Your representative, maybe, were you oversold?
Well, there was, the whole process is, you don't, and I've known this from a distance, you don't really campaign for SNL.
Right.
You're very respectful of the process. So when she picked Tim Walz and then Steve Martin turned it down, the internet kind of chatted about all these out-of-shape Midwestern guys to play Tim Walz. And so I was very hands-off, wanted to be respectful of it. And so then I was in England, and I was working on a movie. I work on one day on a movie a year. And and the night before, my manager called me with my agent, and he's like, yeah, we've been talking about, to the SNL people, we've been telling them that, we're selling you by saying that you've been sending videos of you pretending to be Tim Walz. And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting approach. And then, and they were like, yeah, and now they want to see those videos. And I was like, so what are you saying? They're like, we'd like you to send us those videos. And I'm like, but those videos don't exist. So I went back to my hotel and I just started changing clothes. But I just did an impression of my brother Mitch, who's a sweet Midwestern guy,
great.
similar to Governor Walz. So
Well, it certainly worked out. I have a lot more to ask you about. We'll be right back with more from Jim Gaffigan.